5 years ago, I made a life-changing decision. I left the corporate world to build a business that I truly believed in, a business that I'd had this idea for 4 years before I went all in, a business I believed in. I believed that it would work. I worked all the hours under the sun. I was pouring everything that I had into my dream. While everyone else was out enjoying life, I was grinding, I was creating content, I was building my platform, I was showing up every single day. I wanted this to work so badly. But no matter what I did, nothing was shifting. Nothing changed. I watched people thriving, some who started their businesses after me, reaping the rewards. Some related to my work and some unrelated. And I couldn't get it. I couldn't understand why I wasn't seeing the same results. I knew I believed in myself. I knew I believed in my products. I knew I believed in everything that I was creating. I knew I had something incredible to share with the world. Yet no matter what I did, nothing was shifting. And I felt so stuck. I didn't know where to turn. I didn't know what else to do. And the only thing I could do was I could keep building my platform, keep moving forwards, keep creating content. So I kept moving forwards, even though there were times where I felt like I was losing hope. I kept working, I kept striving, even through fear, even through frustration, and even through tears. And there were a lot of tears, even in isolation. It felt like no one really got me. No one got that I was doing this and I was doing this alone. I even had to go on benefits from the government. Thank God for the government to help me pay my bills. Money was running out. The fear was real. And then it clicked. And this click took about 9.5 months to come to me, to come to the surface. But it did, thank God. You see, if you are ready, if you are truly ready to discover this one thing that turned my business around within 5 weeks, then keep listening, because this is for you. One day, I got the sign and it hit me. About just under 10 months into me starting this business and receiving absolutely nothing back to show me that it was working, except for the courage that I had not to give up and the work I had created already on my platforms. I was very proud of that. But it dawned on me exactly what was going on. What I had unintentionally been doing, because we don't do this intentionally, I realized it was two things that were actually blocking me from receiving the success in my business, for my business to grow, that were actually controlling me. One, comparison. And two, the words of others, which led me down another route, which I will explain. I was unconsciously comparing myself to others. And this means to the universe and to my vibration that I saw them as better than me, which is a story of my life, seeing others winning and me failing, seeing people as better, having them on a pedestal, not me on the pedestal. And where the hell did that come from? My childhood. Oh my God, the exhaustion that I was creating unintentionally due to carrying within me this stuff, these thoughts, these beliefs, was off the scale. And not only that, I was continually allowing the words of others to fucking control me, that they were validating who I was in where they wanted me to go. And I was allowing it. And what makes it even worse is this. These people, they didn't even have a fucking clue what I was doing or creating or would ever have ever had the dedication that I had to do what I was doing. These people who wouldn't have dared to go all in on a business to try what I was trying to achieve were telling me to give up, to go back to the corporate world. These people pretending to care, were just not wanting me to win. Again, another story of my life from my childhood experiences. To win? Well, what would that mean? Loneliness, isolation, judgments, put downs. Who do you think you are? Thinking that you're better than everybody else? That it wasn't safe for me to want more, to want better, or I would be punished in some way or another. It wasn't safe for me to outshine people, to shine even, to be loud, beautiful, bubbly, authentic, my authentic self, or I would be ridiculed for being my truth, which I was, or punished or judged by. This was my life, you guys, and this is what I was still carrying around within me. The thing is, none of this came from me, but was projected to me because there were people around me who could see my light. But I couldn't, because I was just being me. I was just being me, the me that wanted to be her true self, to laugh, to play, to have fun, to succeed, who learned that that wasn't safe. In fact, being me in any way, shape, or form wasn't safe. Bright light, dim light wasn't safe. And the list goes on and on and on and on and on. And this is why I had played small all of my life, not realizing what I was actually doing, what I actually had within me, and how strong and brave and fearless and smart and intelligent and creative and successful I could actually be. It was safer for me to play small, not just in business, these fucking friends, these relationships. It was safer to settle in rooms I didn't belong and do everything that I could to fit in, to belong, to blend in, to be accepted, than to be anything else. And to be honest, I didn't even know I could have better then. I thought that was my lot. I wanted better, but I didn't know better was actually accessible for somebody like me. That was for them, you see. These people who didn't want me to win were also telling me I didn't even have enough experience to do what I was doing. Again, another bloody belief that I wasn't smart enough or intelligent enough to be someone that could help people, that could be successful in business, which also came from childhood responses. Mostly it was, you're not good enough, you're not enough, and who the bloody hell do you think you are? Thinking you can be better than everybody else? I don't think so. So not only did I hear their doubts, I was allowing them to deeply bury within me, further cementing what I was already carrying in me, but just deeply buried. What was happening was this, which I can see so clearly now with all the experience that I have now, and because I have healed these wounds to know how all of this works. It was that their words were mine, reflected to me. Their thoughts were mine, which actually, from a Neville Goddard principle perspective, and as you can see, they were all just reflecting me back to me. You got to own that. Had to own that. Everyone is you pushed out. And they were simply mirroring me, my deepest, most painful beliefs that I was holding on to, yet deeply, so deeply buried within me that I couldn't see it. I didn't see it then. And as I said, because sometimes it is hard to see it when it is so deeply, familiarly ingrained, which is how the program mindset gets you and keeps you stuck in a life of settling, like you're in a prison cell you can't break out of, with what you don't want. And it can only change when you choose you and you choose to heal. Because it is the healing, finally being able to see you your truth, and that you actually can have more and totally deserve better and more. The life of your dreams, even bigger than your dreams. And that is what healing does. It releases these layers so you can open your eyes, open your heart fully to your truth of you. But here's the kicker. Please don't be fooled for 1 second that it happens overnight, because it does not. It does not happen overnight. It happens a layer at a time, which is called spiritual ascension. And you can only peel back these layers when you're ready. It isn't a rush job, but it is this. Unless you are consistent and diligent and persistent and have faith in doing your healing practices daily, even in the unseen, even in the moments that you can't see anything changing and you feel scared, you must keep going, because the only way to see what you truly have inside of you, that potential that you have yet to tap into, is to heal diligently, consistently and persistently, and have faith in it too. Because you're planting seeds and they will sprout and they will bloom. It is the only way that you can let these god-awful patterns go, by getting to the root. These ingrained stories, those people, letting them go who were nothing but way showers for you, karmic lessons, where you can let go of that unfulfilling life and where you can finally step in to a life, a fulfilled life, where you light up the rooms, where you not only step into rooms that you now know that you definitely belong in, with inspirational people, in inspirational surroundings, having inspirational conversations, receiving the wealth, the success, the abundance, the love, the kindness, the generosity on a level that you didn't even know existed or could ever access. You finally see this. This is the biggest pill to swallow. You were always worthy and enough just because you actually existed, and that all you were doing was carrying others' stuff that wasn't meant and never meant for you. It wasn't meant to destroy you. It was meant for you to finally come back home to the truth of you and what you can accomplish, and that your life has limitless opportunities for you and possibilities, that whatever you want, you can achieve, you can have. So let me just get back to my story. I was being led to thinking, how are these people doing it, achieving it all, reaping the benefits, and not me? What am I missing? I went down that route of maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm not good enough for this. Maybe this wasn't the life for me. Maybe I can't do this. Maybe I am not cut out for this. Maybe I'm supposed to live small. I can see it now, even an ex of mine encouraging me to get him to help me with my CV, my resume, so I could go back to the corporate world, so I could give up. Everything was pulling me back. My thoughts, the comparisons that I can now see I had all my life. They're better than me. They're more intelligent. They are more successful. They're the successful ones, not me. I should do what they say to keep fitting in. Who do I think I am to have this life, to want this better life, this business, this wealth, this freedom? This is exactly why I became someone who tried to blend into a life that wasn't for me, to shrink, to fit into a life that was never meant for me. And somehow I would do anything I could to belong into a world that wasn't mine to belong in. It never was. It wasn't for me. Fear and dread were constant companions, literally doing this, whispering to me, who do you think you are? You can't do this. You can't be successful. You can't be rich and wealthy. You can't have beautiful, loving relationships. You can't have consistency of kindness and peace and clarity. You can't perceive it all. It was unbearable. And the thought of going back to the corporate world was even more unbearable, but I couldn't seem to break into the business world that I had dreamed of. Whilst I was now aware of the comparisons and holding on to what others were telling me, which would then lead me to doubting myself and my dream coming true, the success, the growth in a business that I knew was going to help people. It was this that, along with my healing, turned it all around. This one thing, it changed everything. The power of the words that you speak. So for 5 weeks, about 10 months into me starting my business with no further movement except for a few more views on my social media content and a few hundred subscribers, which, can I just say, were my window of continued hope that these souls wanted to see me. And I felt so absolutely blessed just to have them, because I didn't give up on creating my content. I kept going no matter what. I went all in. But I did this. I shifted my words, my thoughts, and my emotions. I ignored the 3D reality. Every single moment, morning, noon, and night, even waking up in the middle of the night, I spoke my vision into existence. I told myself what I wanted to be as though I already had it. I created mantras about my business, my clients, my success, my incredibly busy diary, the money pouring in, being in Ibiza, as though it had already happened. And I repeated them relentlessly. I visualized the life that I wanted relentlessly. I spoke to myself as though I was already living my dream. And then magically, everything shifted in just 5 weeks. 5 weeks. I got my first paying client. And then, like magic, my business exploded. Clients came in. The diary was full. I was still in the mindset of how can I get clients to come and see me in my hometown? But the universe had different ideas. It had better ideas for me. It wanted me to be global. And so they came from all over the world. All over the world. I couldn't believe it. It was so exciting. And I was so beyond grateful. The income exceeded my expectations too. What I'd been asking for doubled, even more than doubled. My YouTube platform grew massively. And within a month, I was living a dream. I'd taken my digital business to Ibiza for 4 weeks, living the freedom that I had dreamed of for years in this beautiful, beautiful isle. And it wasn't luck. It was the words that I chose to speak, the story that I chose to tell myself consistently, diligently, persistently, with faith, the unwavering belief that what I wanted was already mine. If they could have it, I could have it too. This continued. The success, the clients, the full diary, the thousands of views on my content, the money kept growing. Viral worthy content was going out until in June 2023, I was completely burnt out. So I made a decision to change my business model, to create content that would be helpful and full of my journey to help people heal, and with value, depth, and integrity, and to create courses. And so the universe heard me, and it all slowed down. Everything slowed down for the first time in 2 years. But instead of being grateful whilst I was for a couple of months to have some space to live and breathe again, I reverted back. I got scared. I didn't trust. I didn't trust that I could have a life of freedom and abundance. So, to cut a long story short, I went back to coaching one-to-one. I hired a business coach, and I was even more stressed with the business coach than I had ever been. Chasing. It was chasing, and it felt like I was being guided to speak in a different way, not in an authentic way, not in my true self. And I couldn't sustain that mask. I couldn't sustain it. So that I didn't believe it, but I couldn't sustain that way of doing it. And I didn't want to. So in April 2025, just under 2 years of me wanting to stop one-to-one coaching, I did. I realized if I could create a life of a successful coaching business with one-to-one clients, I could do it this way too, with courses and programs, and have the freedom and the abundance, which is what I have always wanted all those years ago, all this time. And what I had realized that whilst I was extremely successful, I was still consciously creating a life over my wounds. And they were now showing up in so many ways. Beliefs that I had buried from my childhood, beliefs that I was carrying that weren't mine to carry in the first place, that was still there. I was carrying other people's shit, and other stories about themselves as though it was me, their lives as though they were my lives, their insecurities as though they were mine. You see, these beliefs became so ingrained into my subconscious, into my nervous system. My nervous system became so completely dysregulated. And this is what I was reflecting to the world. And this was my mirror that I needed to finally let go of. I needed to go deeper, even deeper onto releasing, to recalibrate my nervous system, or this cycle wasn't going to end. And that cycle was so painful and it was exhausting. And I was scared. It was that I didn't feel safe to receive consistently. I couldn't hold what it was I wanted fully because it would leave me, because that's what happened. That was the pattern, that I could only have one foot in and one foot out the door, because it will hurt me to believe that it would stay. That chaos and struggle and hustle and confusion were my normal, you see, that I had to fight for love, support, clarity, generosity, consistency, kindness, success, financial wealth, peace. To be seen, I had to fight for my worth, for my value. I carried the weight of other people's judgments, insecurities, and fears unknowingly. I was absorbing them as my own. Which is why who you hang around with, you naturally become. And this is proof of that. And don't think that you can escape it unless you escape the beliefs through recoding your nervous system and healing your inner child. So in April 2025, these same fears were not going to take a hold of me anymore. I was done. I wanted freedom and I wanted my business to be this way. I wasn't going to allow these beliefs to pull me back in a direction that I didn't want to be pulled back to ever again. I chose me and I went deep. I worked with my inner child diligently and daily. I held her, I loved her, I nurtured her, I spoke to her, I reminded her who she was, that she was safe to receive, to have peace, clarity, love, and abundance consistently, that she was somebody that could hold it, that she always was, that she was enough and worthy just for the fact that she was alive. I helped her release patterns of fear, of lack, of unworthiness. I showed her that she was safe enough, that it was safe to receive consistently everything she had ever wanted. And that those who were aligned would come with her on her journey. And those that weren't aligned, she would naturally and effortlessly release. I opened her heart fully like a beautiful rose to feel safe, to receive, to hold it all, the abundance that the universe has to offer. And I have never seen her so happy and excited about life as I am too. When I did that work, which I go back to when any other patterns arise, because it's the blueprint, and I released them, and the results were immediate because I diligently and consistently daily show up for myself. The trust returned. Consistency in all areas of my life beyond my wildest dreams. My life started to flow to me with ease. I found my voice without fear. I released all of those that were causing confusion and chaos in my life. I didn't look back. I could see people for what they were. I spoke my truth without fear. I put myself back on the pedestal, back on the throne where I always belonged to be. I became a leader again, and for the first time of my life fully since I was born, accepting myself fully and no longer allowing others to dictate to me or to dim my light. I grew stronger, more confident, more brave, more courageous, more trusting, letting go, surrendering, more magnetic. And the more I fell in love with myself, the more things changed. The more I said hell to the no to that or to them, I chose me. And I fell in love with myself in a way I didn't even know was possible. And now it is me and my inner child. She is my priority and I am hers. And this is how life is now. I trust my inner compass. I say no, I say yes. I don't explain if I don't want to. I speak my truth. I walk with pride, confidently, magnetically in who I am and who I am becoming. And I thank God every single day that I didn't give up and that He and the spiritual world didn't give up on me. I consistently receive freedom and abundance, love, kindness, generosity. I'm being chosen. I'm being seen. I'm expanding. I'm financially abundant. Kindness, peace, clarity are all flowing now consistently. And because I have become the version of me who can safely hold and receive it all now without sabotaging it, I bravely changed my voice and the clients still came. My business thrived again, but this time from a place of alignment, from my new life, from more of an authentic place. As I've healed more and grown more, and I no longer come from a place of struggle or hustle. I trust, I surrender, I let go. I keep moving forwards. I no longer fight to prove my worth in any area of my life. I have simply learned that being me is enough. And the right souls are already aligned to me. The right souls are already aligned to me, as are the clients who find me with ease, as I intend it to be. I have released the old that was not mine to carry, nurtured my inner child, myself to recalibrate my nervous system. I've dedicated to myself, to the life that I am choosing to live now, to receive. No longer speaking over wounds, but speaking affirmations now, aligned to my rewired, recalibrated nervous system. So the lesson: the words you speak matter. The stories you tell yourself shape your reality. And when you combine this with deep inner healing, nervous system recalibration work, no longer speaking over the wounds, but releasing them to speak words in that now align to your newly recalibrated nervous system, healing the patterns that no longer serve you and were never yours to carry in the first place, so you can safely and consistently receive with clarity and peace. The results aren't just better, they are spectacular. They are extraordinary, because the truth is, the words you speak matter more than you will think, and your life will follow them. So choose your words wisely. Ask yourself this one question before I wrap up today's video, which I know is a long video, you guys. I put my heart and soul into this. How would it feel if you were that person with that desire right now? How would you feel right now? How would you feel right now? Repeat this to yourself to keep that truth aligned and vibration high. What if it was something like this? You can close your eyes as well if it feels safe for you to do so. to feel that vibration of this being your truth? What if this was it now? Repeat this to yourself. It's all coming in now. It's all flooding in. It is overflowing. It is all done. It's all happening. It is mine. Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Everything I've ever dreamt of, everything is always working out for me, and everything is always working out for my highest good. Everything is working out in the most perfect, divinely timed, divinely ordered way. And I feel unstoppable. I feel incredible because I am, and it's all working out for me. Oh my God, I feel outstanding because I am, and it's coming together perfectly. I love it. I love it. I love this feeling. I love how I feel so outstanding, so spectacular, so incredible. I feel like I am on top of the world. I feel limitless because I am. And the opportunities are flowing to me now endlessly. Opportunities are endless for me now because I see my worth and I see my value, and I know that I am enough to receive this all and to hold this all. I feel incredible. I feel amazing because I am. I feel spectacular. You have the power to alchemize that suffering, that limited potential that you have taken on board unintentionally and deeply believed. You have the power to alchemize this, to turn this around. So when it comes to spiraling, remind yourself and repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat your truth. I'm doing something spectacular here. I feel absolutely outstanding for all I am and all I am achieving and all I am doing and all I am receiving. You can turn your life around with the power of your words, just like I did, and your diligence in pushing through and keep going no matter what, in never giving up. Your words vibrate and become your truth, your new mirror, your new reflection from your 3D reality. So when you change that inner script, the script will change and you will hold that new script in your reality, in your hands. So you're someone who wants to run 4 marathons back to back, but you can only achieve one right now. Then change your story. Change your story. You want to be someone that goes from being on benefits to receiving £50,000 a month. You want to be a £50,000 a month person? Then change your story. You want to live in a 5-bedroom house, but you're currently living in a 1-bedroom flat? Change your story. You want to be so successful that the world knows your name for all the good that you're actually doing? Change your story. How would it feel to have it all now? How would you feel? And when the 3D bites at you with the opposite, keep repeating this new story. I feel outstanding. I wanted to also share too that some and most of those people that I was comparing myself to all those years ago, and this was absolutely nothing that I wish on anyone, but this was what happened. None of them achieved the success that I have. In fact, most of them gave up, saying it was too hard, too difficult, too time consuming, making excuses. A lesson learned in don't compare. If you really want something in life, it isn't that it has to be hard to get it, but you have to be willing to go all in, to not give up on your dream, and you will get rewarded. You will be tested, you will, but it is how you manage that test through your diligence and the words that you speak in over your life to become your life. I know this is a long video. Please feel free to comment below, share your stories, and comment one or more of those powerful affirmations that I shared earlier as well. You can repeat them throughout your day. And when you are involved in the task that you are doing to build whatever it is that you're building or creating, just repeat them over and over and over. If you are ready to heal your long-lasting consistency in all areas of your life, to receive that long-lasting consistency, then check out my coaching solutions. Links below or above in my bio. And if you have any questions about the right one, simply DM me the words "no more surface level fixes" on Instagram, or you can email me that in the subject field, natalie@asthepenniesdrop.com. And let's just have a chat to get you on the right path with the right solutions so you consistently hold and receive your dream. So that is it for me today, you guys, coming to you from a slightly windy, cloudy Ibiza. Thank you so much for staying to the end of this long video, for being here, because I know those of you that are staying to the end really want this, and you deserve this life so much. So please feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe. From me and Ibiza, I will be back, as always, very, very soon.